Welcome to Senior African Whisper, where stories from the heart of Africa come alive. Today, I bring you a tale of wit and wisdom, a story passed down through generations, a tale about the tortoise, the wisest of all animals in African folklore. But is the tortoise truly wise, or is he just a trickster? By the end of this story, you'll decide. Settle in, my friends, as I take you on a journey to a time when animals spoke and lived as. Long ago, when the skies were closer to the earth and the animals gathered in harmony, a great announcement was made. The king of the birds had decided to host a grand feast in the sky. It was to be a celebration unlike any other. There would be roasted plantains, yams, spiced stew, and honey-drizzled fruits. Music filled the air as drums beat and flutes sang in joyous harmony. But there was one condition: the feast was only for the birds, for only they could fly to the sky. Now, living on the ground was the tortoise, known far and wide for his cleverness, and his love for food. When news of the feast reached his ears, the tortoise rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "A feast this grand cannot happen without me," he said to himself. "I may not have wings, but I have my wits, and my wits have never failed me." The tortoise wasted no time. He waddled to the clearing where the birds had gathered. "My dear friends," he said, bowing dramatically, "what a glorious occasion this is. Surely, you would not leave your old friend behind. After all, what is a feast without me to bring joy and laughter?" The birds were hesitant at first. One whispered to another, "The tortoise is always up to something. Can we trust him?" But the tortoise pleaded, "I only ask for one feather from each of you. With your help, I can make wings and join you in the sky. Together, we'll make this feast unforgettable." The birds, moved by his words, agreed. One by one, they plucked their feathers and gave them to the tortoise. Soon, with feathers of all colors, red, blue, yellow, and green, the tortoise created wings for himself. With a triumphant flap, he took off into the sky, flying alongside the birds. When they reached the sky, the feast was even more magnificent than the tortoise had imagined. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted yams and sweet honey cakes. Golden pots shimmered in the sunlight, and colorful fruits were piled high on silver trays. The birds chirped happily as the drums began to play. But the tortoise, ever the thinker, had another idea. He turned to the birds and said, "My friends, in a feast as grand as this, it is customary for everyone to take a new name. For this occasion, I shall be called all of you." The birds, though puzzled, agreed. After all, what harm could a name do? Little did they know, the tortoise was already plotting his next move. When the food was finally served, the tortoise stood up and addressed the servers. "Who is this feast prepared for?" he asked. The servers replied, "For all of you." The tortoise grinned. "Ah, yes. That is my name. All of you. So naturally, the food belongs to me." And with that, he began to eat. He devoured the roasted yams, licked the honey from his fingers, and even finished the spiced stew. The birds watched in shock, their beaks wide open. One muttered, "I knew we shouldn't have trusted him." But the tortoise only laughed. "My friends, your kindness has made this the best feast of my life." The birds were furious. They snatched back their feathers, leaving the tortoise stranded in the sky. "Let's see how your cleverness helps you now," they said, flying off to enjoy the scraps he had left behind. The tortoise looked down at the ground far below. He called out to his wife, who was tending the garden. "Wife! Wife! Bring out every soft thing we have, blankets, mats, leaves, anything to break my fall." But his wife, misunderstanding his request, brought out hard objects instead, mortars, pestles, and stones. The tortoise closed his eyes and jumped. He fell with a loud crack. When the tortoise landed, his shell cracked into many pieces. But being a clever creature, he found a way to patch it back together. From that day on, the tortoise's shell has always been cracked, serving as a reminder of his greed. So, what can we learn from this story? The tortoise's cleverness got him to the feast, but his greed led to his downfall. Wisdom without humility can bring trouble, even for the cleverest among us. What do you think of the tortoise's wisdom? Was he clever or just a trickster? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Senior African Whisper for more captivating African folktales. Until next time, keep the stories alive.